So another person that could score a fairy tale goal in the Europa League final, apparently, is Danny Welbeck. Have you heard the rumors about him being back in full training and possibly available for selection in the Cup final? And if he is, would you play him? If you're him, would you want to play, given that he's not going to be with the team after?
Well, I think we get an extended bench. I'm almost certain.
From
7 to 12, right? So I think having someone like Welbeck on the bench is great because we talked about it a little bit on the last pod. He is a player with speed. He's got ability with his feet to spread play. He can score the often goal, and he does sometimes come up when it's needed. I mean, he scored in important games. I'm thinking Leicester, the Man United FA Cup a few seasons ago. So I think if he's fully fit, even if he's 80% fit, I would put him on the bench because he offers us something that we could throw on if Chelsea are being that sorry type of just defensive mentality, then maybe he opens up the play a little bit. So yeah, I would definitely have him on the bench if it's there.
James?
Yeah, likewise. I mean, who knows how rusty he's going to be, but I think with that 12-man bench, you might as well put him there. And, the good news is that Eddie Nketiah got his goal at the weekend and his confidence will be improved, and maybe that increases the likelihood of using him off the bench. But we know Aubameyang will start. We know Lacazette will start. And the chances are we might have to make an attacking change later on. So to have Welbeck there would be great. I mean, he started the FA Cup final win over Chelsea a couple of years ago and was outstanding on that day. So even if it's just for 15, 20 minutes, I'd like to have him available.
Yeah, I mean, Nketiah's got the old anti-Chelsea situation. You gave up on me type of thing. But, yeah, I mean, I think the starting lineup, and we'll talk about this in our preview, which I will get to in a few minutes because it's going to be huge. Our preview, I mean, the lineup we had in the second leg against Valencia pretty much should be, I think, the lineup that we go through. And I don't care about 10 of the people in that lineup. The fact that Mustafi wasn't in it, I think, is the reason why we're going to win the Europa League. But by the way, a comment from, who was it? Archie said Mkhitaryan is not Arsenal. He won't die for Arsenal. I mean, it's ridiculous that we actually have to talk about him physically dying for the club. I mean, that's usually just like a comment, but no, he says he's a bottler. I don't know that he's a bottler. He's just not as good as he used to be. Robin van Persie retired this weekend. Let's all hang our heads for a minute. Played his final game for Feyenoord at the age of 35. He ended his career the exact way he started it.
As a cunt.
As a cunt. We didn't even plan that, yes.
Nope.
Yeah, that's all the time I feel like spending on him. As much as I don't want to talk about the Champions League, the semifinals, I mean, have you ever seen 3 hours of combined more suspenseful football? They weren't too kind to Arsenal supporters. Obviously, we know. We should have been watching those games live on Pornhub because Arsenal got fucked by Barcelona and Ajax.
Yeah, it was a really entertaining for the neutral, and I was happy to see Liverpool. I typically like to see English clubs with a caveat, except for those scum. But I was happy to see Liverpool overcome Barcelona, and I think that they're going to be the better team to take on Tottenham. But I mean, Jesus, what an entertaining match! And for all the praise that De Ligt gets, the two mistakes on that last goal were just, I mean, that's just age right there, right? But you know what, Mike?
Maybe it brings his cost down by 30 million, and we can get it.
I doubt it. But you know what? If it's written in the stars that we're gonna have probably a Super Cup, us versus them. But I know you're gonna get to this point in a minute, but it took a little bit of the celebration out of it for us making the final with them making it. I was a little bit bummed. Hi.
We're about to see Ali. Well, while Ali is getting ready to be on the
He was just
James,
playing out in the water, so he's excited. I'll mute myself.
James, did it take? Was it a stomach punch that lasted for an extra day or two and into and through Thursday for you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of having to pretend the Champions League final isn't really happening. I'm actually at a wedding on that night, so it's great because
thank God. I gotta find one to go to.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna just walk around various hotels looking for a wedding to go to.
Crash weddings, yeah. I'm going to be just drinking and forgetting about it is my plan. And I do think Liverpool will come through for us. I pray, but they've got to be the favourites. Yeah, it was one of those moments when they got their goal that knocked Ajax out. I just stared at the TV for like 5-10 minutes. I couldn't really believe what I had seen.
Well, and a minute before that, Ajax had hit the post, and I was thinking, oh my God, if I look back on this, and this is what ended up keeping them out. But I'm like, no, it's impossible. This game is over. And then I'm just sitting here watching it in my office on my computer, and I wanted to throw up. I literally wanted to throw up when that happened. Seeing how happy they were that they got away with it. I mean, fair play to them, but fuck them.